Before the rise of kings and emperors, before coins and paper money, banking was born in the hands of priests. In ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and even India, temples were more than places of worship. They were the first banks. Farmers and merchants brought their grain, silver, and goods to the temple, depositing them in massive storehouses. In return, priests issued clay tablet receipts, the earliest form of banking records. These priests controlled everything. Need a loan for your crops? The temple could provide. A merchant seeking investment for a caravan? The gods, through their holy scribes, would decide. And if you failed to repay, it wasn't just your wealth at risk, your very soul was said to be in divine debt. But was this truly divine will, or an early form of economic control? Priests determined interest rates, regulated the flow of wealth, and ensured power remained within the temple walls. Some say this was a system of stability, others a monopoly in the name of the gods. In time, rulers challenged this power. Kings formed royal treasuries, creating state-controlled economies. But the legacy of priestly banking never faded. Even today, echoes of their system remain in modern finance. The next time you step into a bank, remember, the foundations of finance were laid not by accountants, but by the hands of priests, shaping the world's wealth in the name of the divine. They tell us wars are fought for honor, for freedom, for faith, but beneath the banners and battle cries, there is always one true motive: money. Whether it's land, trade routes, resources, or cold, hard gold, every war in history has been a war for wealth. Let's go back thousands of years. The first wars weren't about ideology, they were about control. The Sumerians waged wars to dominate fertile lands. The pharaohs clashed for gold mines. The Greeks and Persians, they fought not just for empire, but for the wealth of trade routes and treasuries. War wasn't just destruction, it was business. Conquering a city meant taking its wealth, enslaving its people, and taxing its traders. The victors got richer, and the cycle continued. But what about wars fought in the name of God? The Crusades were sold as a holy mission, but behind the faith was fortune. European knights looted Jerusalem and carved up new kingdoms. The Spanish conquered the Americas, claiming to spread Christianity. Yet they were driven by one thing: mountains of gold and silver. Even religious empires needed wealth to survive. The Ottomans expanded for control of trade routes. The Vatican bankrolled crusades and politics with the riches of its followers. War was always about power, and power was always about money. Fast forward to modern times. Did the world wars really happen just because of politics? Or was there a financial game at play? World War I shattered empires, but behind the scenes, banks funded both sides. Industries thrived on weapons production. The war drained resources, and the nations left standing controlled the world's economy. World War II? The Great Depression left nations desperate. Germany rebuilt its military to escape economic ruin. The US joined the war, and its war economy pulled it out of financial collapse. After the war, the victors created new financial systems, controlling global trade and wealth. And today, every war has a price tag. The wars in the Middle East, some say they were about terrorism, others say democracy. But look deeper. Oil, resources, and financial dominance have always been at the heart of modern conflict. War makes money, defense contractors profit, banks fund both sides, nations seize resources, and behind every fallen soldier, there are men in suits making fortunes. So next time they tell you a war is about freedom, justice, or faith, follow the money, because in the end, history's greatest battles were never truly fought for ideals. They were fought for wealth, for power, and for those who control the world's economy. Throughout history, we've been told that power belongs to kings, presidents, and generals. But what if that was a lie? What if behind every war, every financial crisis, every rise and fall of civilization, there was something or someone pulling the strings? The greatest secret of all is not written in history books. It's not taught in schools. But if you follow the money, if you trace the power, you will find it. And once you do, you'll never see the world the same way again. Let's go back to the beginning. Ancient priests controlled wealth in temples. Then kings took control, creating treasuries. Then banks emerged, lending money to rulers and nations. But who funded these banks? Who truly controlled them? The truth is, the most powerful empires in history weren't run by governments. They were run by money. And those who controlled that money didn't just sit on thrones. They built them. But how does this hidden power work? Simple. Control the money and you control the world. They do it in three ways: banks, governments, and media. Banks create debt, making nations and people slaves to interest. Governments enforce laws that protect the powerful. In the media, they shape the story so you never ask the right questions. Have you ever wondered why every war benefits the same few industries? Why economic crashes always seem to make billionaires richer? Why the truth is so hard to find? It's not an accident. It's the system working exactly as it was designed. But what happens when people resist? What happens when a leader, a movement, or even a country tries to break free? Julius Caesar was killed after challenging the financial elite of Rome. JFK spoke against secret societies and was silenced. Nations that refused to play the game faced economic warfare, military intervention, or worse. The system doesn't allow escape. It ensures obedience. So what is the secret they don't want you to know? It's not just that a hidden elite exists, it's that they are terrified of one thing: awareness. They rely on secrecy. They thrive on distractions. But the moment you start questioning, truly questioning, the world around you, their power begins to fade. You were never meant to ask these questions. But now that you have, what will you do with the truth? The choice is yours. Stay in the illusion or look deeper. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Subscribe for more hidden history.